Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Good evening. Jay Zawaski and Mario Tirabassi are here in studio.
Hello.
Greg Boyson is at the United Center and will join us in a little while. The Hawks lose 5-3 to the Pittsburgh Penguins on Hossa night. All in all, a really good, a really positive night. The Hawks actually played pretty well in this game. We're going to get to that. And, of course, we're going to recap all of the Hossa night's festivities. Speaking of that, we've got a new shirt design at the CHGO Locker. It is the first new Hawks design that we've come up with so far, and I think it's fitting that we honor the legend himself with this design. Go to chgolocker.com to pick it up. If you're listening on the podcast, it is number 81 in the visor with the banner reflecting and hoisting the Stanley Cup and the little subframe there. Just an awesome-looking shirt. So chgolocker.com to pick up the 81 legendary design. And remember, if you are a member, if you are a diehard member, you save 20% off all merch at chgolocker.com. And if you have not become a diehard yet, remember, every year you get a free shirt. So if you've been waiting for that perfect shirt to come along, here it is. And I've been told this is available in a wide variety of sizes.
Nice.
I've had some of my fellow Chubsters complain that the shirts have not been big enough, or notice that they haven't been big enough is probably a better word than complain. These go up to at least 5X. So you've got options out there for the 81 legendary design. It looks just fantastic. So go pick up one of those. Yeah. Show your support to CHGO and become a diehard because it's just a great, great thing to be part of. So absolutely. I guess we should start with. Let's.
Do we want to get the game out of the way, or do we want to go in chronological order of the night?
Yeah, you know what? I think people are here for the host to talk. Don't you think?
Sure.
We'll get to the game. We're going to recap the game, but. Just a really good night. And I saw somebody on Twitter say it, I don't remember who it was, but no one does pageantry like the Blackhawks. It just...
Mark Lazarus, yeah.
Yeah, it looks
the pomp
great.
And circumstance.
Like it's just, the atrium was packed and everybody was there and everybody was happy and ready to go. They bring out Seabrook and Keith and Hjalmarsson and Sharp and everybody's out there, ready to... talking and praising Marián Hossa. Chris Foster's is out there. It was just a really nice evening for a guy that everybody loves.
Yeah.
You can tell the way his teammates talk about him, the way the fans revere Marián Hossa. Oh, yeah. This guy is universally beloved, and he really deserves this honor.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to come across a Blackhawks fan who has a negative thing to say about Hossa. And really, I don't know how many NHL or just hockey fans in general could ever say a bad thing about him. Having him on the show, meeting him in person, you really saw just the level of humility that he has.
Yeah.
And he said, he said when he was here, I feel like I'm getting all of the credit right now, and it wasn't just me, and I think all these other guys should be getting the credit, and they will.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
Don't worry.
It's just
coming.
It's just Hossa's the first one of that, of that 3 cups of the modern era group to get his time in the spotlight and Hall of Fame, getting his number retired, a guy that absolutely deserves it. And yeah, I mean, it was just the whole night was very well done. The team was not lying when they said get there early because 2:30 was the opening of the atrium, and by 3:00 it was shoulder to shoulder. And it was packed with people. So, probably going to be the only full sellout they have of the year.
I'd imagine.
And it was people showed out. The Hossa jerseys were plentiful in the crowd, and just a great atmosphere. The entire ceremony honoring Hossa, the on ice display. The legends that were all part of it tonight, the banner going up, it was just fantastic, and something I try and do every once in a while when I'm at whatever sporting event it might be. Every once in a while I try and just keep the phone in the pocket.
Yeah. exactly.
And I did that tonight, and I closed my computer, turned my phone the other way, and I was just like, I am going to take a moment to just soak this all in. Because, yes, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Duncan Keith, like, these guys are going to have their nights too, but you don't want to feel like, oh, ho-hum, another jersey retirement. Like, that's not the mentality that I would want to have.
Absolutely not.
So seeing it tonight was just like, you just take everything in, and yeah, Blackhawks did an amazing job putting everything together.
Yeah, it was great to see Eddie Olczyk come back, and you could see Edzo sort of feeling the love when he went out there. Eddie is a guy who, Hossa told us he never cries. Eddie is the opposite.
Will cry.
Eddie will cry all the time at the drop of a hat, and no shame in that at all. I actually envy that about him. But you could tell he was really feeling the love. Had to pause himself a couple times, got choked up a couple times. But it wasn't even about him, though. It was just Eddie remembering all the great memories that this team and Hossa and those teammates that were with him created for this city and for him. Honestly, he had the pleasure of calling those games and watching all those games and seeing all those cups won. It's special to him like it's special to you, and like it's special to Mario and I and to Greg. These are things that no matter how bad the Hawks stay, no matter how bad they remain, those memories will never be taken away from us, right? Even if they're not, in hindsight, there were some things that were not great that were happening behind the scenes, but those Stanley Cups are still won. Those banners are still going to hang forever, and no one can take away the way we all felt when 2010, 2013, and 2015 happened, right? And it was really great to see all those guys back in their element, back together, most of them looking like they can still play.
Yeah.
I know Nicholas Hjalmarsson said he's getting ready to start playing again in Sweden.
Yeah.
And looked lean and mean. Like, he looked
ready to go.
He looked ready to go. Siebes?
He's enjoying retirement. He is enjoying his time away from hockey now, and away from playing. He's coaching in the WHL, but he's enjoying it.
I was really interested to see of those people they introduced, of the former players, and if you missed the ceremony, the only Hawks they introduced were the six that won 3 cups with Hossa. Yep. Toews, Kane, Sharp, Hjalmarsson, Keith, Seabrook.
Yep.
And I think the biggest reaction was for Seabrook. You got the Siebes chant going on, and people were really happy to see him. And I had wondered, would his legacy be a little bit tarnished because of how poorly things went towards the end for him?
Yeah.
But as soon as they showed him, as soon as he came out, all that is forgotten, and only the good memories remain, which is great.
Yeah, I think for Seabrook, the legacy was kind of already cemented. Even too, like Duncan Keith, his last few seasons with the Blackhawks were not the regular Duncan Keith that we had all come to know and love. But I think that just the legacy was still cemented already, and at the time you harp on Seabrook because he's making a ton of money. He's kind of anchored the salary cap situation at the time, and he wasn't playing up to the standards that you had hoped. But like you said, the memories are the memories. Like they are cemented there, and I think once these guys become no longer the active legends, but now the retired legends, like whatever animosity I think most people had when they were playing, if they had any at all, kind of gets wiped away.
Yeah, and I hope that it's, we've been, especially last year, he hasn't really deserved it this year, but we were all critical of Toews last year for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But as soon as that 1,000th game ceremony happened, all of that washed away. Everybody was remembering the great times with him again.
Yep. And
this year he's had a bit of a rebirth, and he's been really, really good. So you don't have to really deal with that decline. But it's just, I don't know. It's sports is so fickle, and it's a lot of what have you done for me lately. But tonight it was great to see Hawks fans let Marián Hossa know how much he means to them. Yeah. And there were a few times, during our talk with him where I don't know if he had noticed or realized how much people here really like him.
Yeah.
Like towards the end when I told him, and he said, "Oh, well, I was only part of this great team. And I said, but here's the difference, Marion. It's you chose to come here.
Yeah.
And that's why it's different. And that's why Hawks fans have this affection for you, because as opposed to being drafted, which is obviously great, and you're homegrown, and that feels great too, for the top guy to say, I choose Chicago, that is how you endear yourself to the city. And that's a big part of the reason, aside from delivering completely 100% what we had hoped he would be, that fact that he said, I'm coming here and I'm going to be the missing piece, that you're ingrained in Chicago's heart forever for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the, the highlight package that they showed during the ceremony tonight, time and time again, whether it was Pat Foley or John Weiderman or any of the players that they interviewed as part of it, they all had a similar sentiment of, do any of these 3 cups happen without Marián Hossa deciding to come to the Blackhawks and sign the contract that he did in the summer of 2009? It probably would be a much harder journey without him, and I don't know if it happens 3 times. And
No.
it's one of the marquee free agents at that time, maybe the biggest fish in the pond in that summer, and to come to the Blackhawks after they had, a run to the Western Conference Final, a very young up-and-coming team, it really was like all of the planets aligning perfectly. And he was kind of the last piece of the puzzle that needed to fit in. And yeah, it really, he sometimes can go under the radar because of the amount of spotlight that guys like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane garner. But he's arguably one of the, if not the most important piece throughout that stretch of time.
Yeah. The Lebowski 5 says the Blackhawks have been playing hockey for 100 years, and they only have 7 people with their jerseys retired. This is not a ho-hum situation. Absolutely.
No.
And 745 Moto fan points out, there were a lot of milestones in this game. Evgeni Malkin's 1,000th game. Sidney Crosby scored his first goal ever against the Blackhawks, which is crazy. Jujhar Khaira played in his 300th game, picked up his 69th point, which is nice. And it was just, I don't know, it had a special feel.
Taze's 500th career assist too, I believe.
That's true.
Yes. If he was credited for that second one.
Yes, he was. Jonathan Toews got his 500th career assist in this one. So
yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, we're having some technical issues where I'm not seeing the chat on the screen here, so I'm kind of going off YouTube and trying to grab them as best I can. So we'll get your chat comments up there.
I'll keep you guys updated with the comments as well.
Appreciate it, Joey. Yeah, appreciate everyone in the chat too tonight.
Yeah,
big game. Love you guys showing out. Yeah, all you diehards out there.
Ken says, is Greg Wyshynski still hanging on to his ridiculous belief that Hossa retirement was planned as a means to get out of the last years of his contract?
Jesus.
If you still believe that, you just have your head in the sand, because
read a book.
There's several first of all, he didn't make that much money salary wise.
Right. He wasn't the anchor to the salary cap.
There's one reason. Another reason is it's not like they were going out to try to sign somebody that they needed the cap space for. Mm-hmm. Also, and most importantly, there's no scenario in which the Hawks were worse off with Marián Hossa on the team.
Right.
Whoever they'd use that money for is not going to be Marián Hossa, even at 36, 37 years old. Right. It's nonsense. Go read his book. It's out now. He details it. There's photos of him in there getting skin tests.
Yeah.
He details having to leave notes for the maids at hotels, apologizing for the blood and the pus on the sheets. Come on. At this point, I usually like Wyshynski's stuff, but dude, pick something up or talk to somebody. Come to the game tonight. I don't know. That just seems real lazy. So
I hope he's not still holding on to that, because there were plenty of people that had those kinds of comments and whatnot when that was happening. But if you're in the year of our Lord 2022 saying Marián Hossa leaving the retiring and going to the Coyotes was cap circumvention and not a debilitating injury that forced his retirement.
Yeah.
Shake your head. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I think there's people that just like to, gather outrage, things to be pissed about.
Yeah.
And of course,
especially against the Blackhawks.
Yeah. And look, say what you want, the Seabrook thing, getting out of that deal, it's not circumvention, but they needed to get out of that.
Look, if it was against the rules, it would be written against the rules.
Right.
And if it's not written against the rules, then loopholes to be had.
Yeah. Another moment that stood out in this one was just how the Hawks have this banner raising machine. Apparently, they roll it out. It's this big rectangular box with lights on it and everything, and the banner comes out of it perfectly. It's cool. Yeah, it's like a toaster. Yeah, it's a banner toaster. Maybe it's like a press in there, and they just program it and it creates banners. They're gonna need those over the next few years.
Yeah, they're gonna need that kind of technology.
They just did. I just think the Hawks always do such a good job. And one question I was asked on Twitter during it was, interesting that Rocky Wirtz was not there at all. And when we talked to Danny and said, what's Rocky's role? He's like, what do you mean? It's the same as it's always been.
Yeah, I don't think it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been since about March. But there were a few faces. There were a lot of familiar faces hanging around the UC tonight, both players and broadcasters. But there were some omissions. I think the biggest one was Joel Quenneville. And Hossa brought him up in his speech, thanked him. There was a huge cheer for Quenneville throughout the arena. I get it, but I also get him not being there.
Yeah,
it's still a very hard situation with honoring the memory of the 2010 team and especially someone like Quenneville and the role he played both behind the bench but also behind closed doors, and it's tough. It's leaving a complicated legacy.
Yeah, the whole thing is complicated, but I think you can look. I'm not telling anyone how to feel, right? And I'm sure there's people that watched this tonight and said this shouldn't be happening.
Right.
He was part of that team. In his book, he says he did not know. Okay, I don't know. We do know though for real and 100% that Quenneville knew and chose to do nothing about it. So I think the fact that there's no question that Quenneville knew makes it very difficult to include him in anything for a long time. And it would have looked bad for them if Q's out on the ice being cheered and being honored. Yes, it's one thing for Marián to mention him.
Yeah.
But if he's sitting out there on the dais or whatever you want to call it, I don't think they can do that.
Yeah, it changes it completely changes the focus of the night. If you have Quenneville sitting out there, if you say here's all the players and here's the coach that led them and here a big cheer, it's just like the eyes of the hockey world were on Marián Hossa tonight, and you bring back Joe Quenneville to a huge pop at the UC, which would have been the outcome. The entire narrative of the night changes around the hockey world.
It's funny. When we were talking the other day, as I was reading through Hossa's book, there was a moment in the book. Quenneville writes the foreword, and here's a little comment that Quenneville wrote. And I don't want this to become a Quenneville thing, but I just thought this was interesting as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
This is a quote from Joel Quenneville's foreword to Hossa's book. I think back to when Hossa got hit by Raffi Torres in that 2012 Phoenix series. That might have been the maddest I've been in a hockey game on the bench. Just knowing that when you lose him, your opportunity is going to be limited. You had a guy stretchered off the ice.
Yeah.
And Joel's first thing he writes is, it really sucks because hockey-wise. He goes on to say, it turned out it was limited, but it was good to see him come back after that. Okay. Acknowledgement of the guy's health, but the reason you were mad to see Hossa go down was because it hurts your chances to win. That's a tough look. And I think everybody, when they saw that Torres hit, was like, is he ever going to play again? Is he going to be okay?
Yeah, it was
screw the outcome.
When a player gets a hit like that and stretchered off and everything like that, you always wonder about their immediate and long-term health. It's the game becomes secondary at that point. But yeah, I mean, different people have different perspectives in the moment. Some of them change, some of them don't.
Yeah.
Question in the chat from No Roids Just Rage. Was Crawford there? Yes, he was. Corey Crawford making a public appearance. That was nice.
I am looking at the photo here. Mario tweeted it out and said, "My heart," and we all share that sentiment.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Sharp, Michael Hanzus, Adam Burrish, Duncan Keith, Corey Crawford, Nicholas Chalmerson, Brian Bickle, Michael Roosevelt, Brent Seabrook, Ben Eager, Andrew Ladd, and Johnny Oduya. Those are the guys pictured. I'm sure there were some other luminaries around. Also, cool to see. We didn't see it. We heard about it because we were back here for the third. But Wayne Gretzky had a message for Hossa. Mike Fisher and Carrie Underwood had a message for Hossa, which I thought was weird.
That was super random until Greg reminded me that Hossa and Fisher were teammates in Ottawa for a number of years. But yeah, it would just Mike Fisher and Carrie Underwood popping up on the screen. I was like, wait a minute, where are we right now? Like, what is going on here? But
and then of course his brother Marcel had a message.
Marcel had a message.
Was that
which
it? Did
was
I
fun.
miss anymore?
That's all that I remember seeing.
Yeah.
But I mean, not many guys needed to send him a video message because a lot of them that you would have expected were there.
The Region Rev says she wanted Hossa to put baby Emma on the cup. That baby seemed to be out.
That baby should have been out, hopefully. But it had some headphones on, and yeah, that was a fun moment seeing Hossa's family out there, all his daughters. Forget their names, but seeing them out there,
Emma,
that was
Mia,
great.
and Zola.
Zoe, not Zoe.
It's not Zoe. Zora. Zola.
Zora sounds right.
Something like that.
Anyways, but yeah, seeing them out there and his wife and his parents, it was great. It was a great.
Zoja.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
And I love that too. It's Hasova, is the last name for the girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do that thing too where it has the little extra because it's female. Interesting.
Yep. I like that. That's cool. Yeah. All right, Greg is standing by from the United Center. So before we get to him, we're going to tell you
Greg,
about
we haven't talked about the game.
Yeah, we haven't talked. We're going to talk about the game with Greg. Sorry, Greg. But we want to tell you about our friends at Green Ridge Farm. They are a Chicago local meat and cheese company offering you a better all-natural option. We've been telling you about those meat sticks, the chicken, the Black Forest beef, the jalapeno cheddar, and my favorite, the spicy chili. They're so damn good. I find mine at Pete's. They're at Sam's Club. They're at Costco. You can find their wonderful deli meat. I've seen that at the Jewel. At Mariano's has Green Ridge Farm. You really can't miss it if you're in the Chicagoland area. Mm-hmm. And it has become my family's go-to deli meat company. There's just something better about Green Ridge Farm meats, and part of it is because it's all natural, and they come from recipes generations in the making. They deliver a fresh and flavorful alternative at snack time, and you can always find them, like I said, at Costco, Sam's Club, or in your local Chicagoland grocery store. Check out this deal. Right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, those meat sticks will be free simply by using the code CHGO at checkout. Again, 3 meat products in your cart at greenridgefarm.com. Include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, and they will be free by using the code CHGO at checkout. Green Ridge Farm, simply natural meat.
We are also presented by, partners with, friends with, Shady Rays, the sunglasses company that's going to make you look not just as, but pretty close to as slick as Marián Hossa looked in his suit tonight.
Not me.
Get a little bit closer, but not quite with your Shady Rays. They are a sunglasses company that never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change that. And you don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses because Shady Rays has you covered. They are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays is that they have the best protection plan in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your Shady Rays shades, they will replace them, no questions asked, with a brand new pair. If you drop them in a lake like myself this past summer, you can get them replaced immediately. If they fell off of your face as you were wiping away tears from during the Marián Hossa ceremony tonight and they fell down from the 300 level to the 200 level and snapped, Shady Rays will replace them again for free. Replacement there. And even with that strong of a protection program, they still managed to make quality that you definitely are going to experience and see, and you're going to get that same quality that you would with a more expensive pair, but at a very reasonable price. Shady Rays customers seem to agree with that quality as they have over 200,000 5-star reviews. So, exclusively for our CHGO listeners, Shady Rays is going to run their deepest deal of the season. When you go to shadyrays.com and use the promo code CHGO, you are going to get 50% off of 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com.
Okay.
That math pans out to buy one, get one free. 2 pairs of Shady Rays for as low as $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com, where you find all of their newest and best shades.
All right, let's bring him in. He is Greg Boyson. He is out there at the United Center standing by. Hello, Greg. How are you?
boys.
Long time no see.
Yeah, how are we? How was the recapping going?
We have not recapped the
have
game
not
at
recapped
all.
the game.
We have been waxing poetic about Hossa.
You know what? Nobody was here for a hockey game tonight anyway. It was like, it was weird. They had the amazing ceremony, and then it was like, oh yeah, they still got to play a game tonight. I kind of forgot all about that.
It did feel that way. Well, we want to, since we've had 25 minutes to get our thoughts out about Hossa, I want to give you the floor to share your thoughts on the evening and the man himself.
Well, it's just been such a really cool week to have him back in town. Obviously, getting the chance to have him right there in our own studios and talking to him was still a surreal experience. And I think after getting to spend that 45 minutes with him last week and then having him talk tonight, I kind of got a little more understanding where you're like, oh, he's the same exact dude in front of 21,000 people that he was sitting with 3 of us. It's an honor he deserves. Just a world-class hockey player, but even better, a world-class human being. Just one of the best guys I've ever gotten the chance to cover, just on a human being level. So well-deserved, awesome ceremony tonight. Blackhawks always do a really good job when it comes to this. It was great seeing all the old players back. Very cool that Edzo was back and doing the emceeing. I thought that was a real nice touch. It just felt good again. You know, a full house, a loud anthem. I don't think we really needed the Irish jig guy to come back, but you know what? It is what it is.
Next thing you know, Taint Nugget's going to be jamming again during intermissions. No one wants that.
Taint Nugget, like, come on! If you're bringing back jig guy, they got to get Taint Nugget an encore.
Of all the things that I don't miss from the Dynasty, the jig guy is number one.
Here's the thing. I used to frequent a bar that he bartended at years ago, and he thought he was like the coolest guy ever. And I'm like, you don't get paid to do that, and you stand up there and make a jackass out of yourself. Like, you're not anything special, but whatever.
I'm sure he scored many a romantic partner by dropping the, hey, you know who I am? I'm the guy who dances the jig at the Hawks games.
At the bar he bartended at, that's nothing to be proud of.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was just, like you said, Greg, just a great night. The Hawks do this stuff unlike anybody else. They're just really great. And I never thought, John McDonough got a lot of credit for the Hawks starting to do things like this, but this to me was the best ceremony they've ever done. Like, it was top notch. It looked cool with
awesome.
with the bracelets and the way the carpet was laid out, and they had the 81 glowing on one side and the what Mario called the banner toaster on the other side. Like, I thought it was phenomenal. They absolutely knocked it out of the park, and I thought it was cool that they did everything early, so they didn't have to rush it. Let Hossa say what he wants to say. Bring everybody out. I think they did just a tremendous job. And if I'm thinking, like, what would I have changed about it? I don't know. Pat Foley was in the building. He was walking around, so maybe get him involved somehow. But aside from that,
it sounded like Marián specifically asked for Edzo.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm. I'm not telling Marián Hossa no for anything. So yeah, but it was cool. We did get to see Pat Foley. He was in the building. Nice to see him here as well.
Joey just put a question for me up on the screen, so I guess I have to answer it. Josh says, "Hey Jay, did you hear that the McDonald's breakfast bagel sandwiches?"
Hey,
are
that's
back?
not this podcast.
Are they?
That's the other podcast.
Were they ever gone?
They never went away.
I didn't think they were gone either. I didn't think they were gone.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? For science, I'll check it out in the morning. Thanks, Josh.
I am fast Monday at 10 a.m. It's wrong podcast.
Anyway.
Anyway, Greg, what was the what was the atmosphere like after the game? Because this was obviously everything around the game was a big focus, and as you kind of said, the game almost kind of felt secondary tonight. What was the atmosphere from Richardson and from the locker room?
Well, in addition to the obviously excitement that the breakfast bagel sandwiches are back, the word disappointing, the word frustrating was used. Obviously, we got to talk to Philipp Kurashev, we got to talk to Ian Mitchell a little bit, and then Patrick Kane came out and held court. Kane was disappointed, that they weren't able to win on his buddy's big night. Luke Richardson wasn't upset with the effort. I mean, obviously, it was a much better effort than what we saw in Boston, but you're giving up goals. You're falling behind 3-0. You come back. That he was happy with the effort, but he said it's exhausting to keep chasing the game, and it's now what, 14 of 18 games they've given up the first goal. 9 games they've fallen behind at least 2-0. Tonight it was 3-0. And it's just a case of the point where the effort was there. This team reminded me a lot what we saw those first 7 or 8 games as opposed to what we've seen the last 3 or 4. But it just shows you they can't afford to make mistakes, because when they make mistakes, they can't afford to take their foot off the pedal for even a shift, because when they do, the other team's going to cash in, and the Hawks, don't get the bounces go their way. Penguins right away, that game-winning goal, it was like, okay, it's Sidney Crosby one-on-one with Caleb Jones, and it went about exactly how you thought a matchup like that would go out. I mean, granted, Sidney Crosby has made a lot of defensemen much better than Caleb Jones looks silly in his years, but still hard to believe that was Sidney Crosby's first ever goal in the United Center and first ever win in Chicago. It's insane. A guy that talented, a Hall of Famer. It took him all this time to win a game in Chicago.
The stat that he has 2 coming into this game, had 2 career points in 7 games against the Blackhawks, something like that.
Yeah, at the United Center. Yeah, he had never had a goal in Chicago, including that Stadium Series game. Never had a goal, never been on the ice for a Penguins win in his career. Dallas is the only NHL city that he has not scored a goal in his NHL career.
Just a side note, I was talking about this with Mario. The fact that he gets booed every time he touches the puck, because people thought he was overhyped coming into the NHL. Guess what? He lived up to the hype. He has achieved everything that everyone's like, this is going to be the next generational player. And he was. He's a great player. And if people want to say that he bitches to the refs too much, take a look at number 19 on your own team doing it constantly.
The people wearing 19 Blackhawks jerseys saying that Crosby cries too much to the refs. It's look in the mirror a little bit.
Yeah, the dude he's great and continues to be great. A 4-point night against the Hawks here. Got a question here from Sam in the chat. Says, Caleb Jones leads all defensemen on ice with 20-36 after being benched with a -5. Who made this call? Well, the assumption would be that is Luke Richardson making that call.
Or more on Kevin Dean. Kevin Dean's in charge of the actual getting the defense out there.
Sure.
That could be a little misleading because there was a lot of power play time, and he was out there for some of that. So that probably gave him an extra
power play time.
I know they were going with that 5-forward power play for a lot of times, so he was jumping out there in the second unit. So that might have given him an extra minute, maybe 2 minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of weird. Sometimes those things, I don't think that was by design, where they got out there on the ice and said, we're going to give Caleb Jones the most time on the ice. It could have been, hey, Connor Murphy and Jake McCabe just spent 2 minutes killing a penalty. Now you got to put Caleb out there. It's just things. Yeah. Ice time can be a little weird in the flow of a game, especially when you're chasing. And that might be the reason why he got a little extra time too, because when you're trying to score goals when you're down 3-0, you want to put one of your more offensive linemen, defensemen out there a little more. He's got a better chance of giving some offense than Jake McCabe or Connor Murphy, who actually got his first point of the season, and shot on goal machine Jack Johnson.
It's coming. That goal is coming. I might play $1 on it every day until it plays, and then I'll be minus. How many games are left?
It'll be minus $81.
Yeah, something like that. JD points out, by the way, if you take out power play time, Caleb Jones was third in ice time. So, yeah, you're not going to have McCabe and Murphy on the power play. So, look, it is what they're just not very good. And bad players are going to have more ice time than you want, especially until Seth Jones is back. And in the -5 game, Luke Richardson went out of his way to say, look, -5 is really bad, but he did not play that poorly. He did not play that bad. But there was a moment in this game, I believe it was the end of the first period, where the Hawks had a possession in their offensive zone late. They win the faceoff. They've got clearly a drawn-up play, and Caleb Jones overskates where he's supposed to be, and Patrick Kane goes over to him with his palms up, shaking his head, and they talk the whole way off the ice. Like, he does make some mental mistakes sometimes. But again, this is a guy who is supposed to be your 6th or 7th defenseman, and he's leading you in ice time. That just is not ideal.
Caleb Jones has taken on the role of being the scapegoat for this team. Everybody wants to pick on him, and some of that he's earned. I mean, he has earned a lot of the criticism, but the Blackhawks haven't lost 4 games in a row just because of Caleb Jones. And when this team is good again, he's not going to be on the roster. So, we're wasting a lot of energy getting really upset over Caleb Jones. It is what it is. He's going to play while he's here, but he's not part of the long-term plan.
Well, look, he had a decent game, a -1, which was the Crosby goal. Joined the club, but guys getting undressed by Sidney Crosby.
Right.
20-36, 2 shots on goal, 5 more shot attempts, and 3 blocked shots. That's a solid game. Like, you can't.
Well.
Yeah.
The problem was he got victimized on the game-winning goal, so that's all people are going to remember.
Right.
It wasn't his finest moment, but it's Sidney freaking Crosby. He probably would have done that same thing to any other of the Blackhawks defensemen on the ice tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone on the defensive side is playing above their weight with Seth Jones out. And that's just the situation that we're in. When Seth Jones is back in the lineup, are we going to be pounding the table that because of Caleb Jones's game? No, because he will be shuffled back into being the 7th defenseman, and he'll be sitting more than he's playing.
Yeah, and Jake McCabe had a horrible play on the first goal of the game, but there wasn't, the pitchforks and torches weren't coming out on Twitter for Jake McCabe, who had an uncharacteristically bad play on the first goal of the game. But, when Caleb Jones messes up, everybody wants to attack him. Caleb Jones is Caleb Jones. He is what he is. It seems just like, as I said, he deserves some of the criticism, but it seems like a giant waste of energy to just get so upset over your 7th defenseman who won't be a part of this team when they're ready to be a playoff team again.
Yeah, I think the fact that a lot of attention has been paid to Jones as maybe still a developing player, still a young player, Blackhawks still trying to figure out what they have with him. I think at this point we know exactly what we have with him, and we have a 7th defenseman. That's what he is. And the amount of weight that we need to put onto his game, and I think the organization needs to put onto his game, should be much lighter than I think it's the attention that's being paid to it.
So I think, one of the questions is, I don't want to spend a whole show talking about Caleb Jones, but whatever. It is what it is. It seems like he gets a lot more leash than others, right? And Greg, I think you're right, where part of it is they don't have any puck movers right now. Ian Mitchell's here, had a nice play in the second period actually to try to spring Colin Blackwell, but then Colin Blackwell stumbled over his own feet. But Mitchell took a look over his shoulder, saw he had time and space, fired a rocket pass right through the center of the ice to the other blue line, and Blackwell just couldn't pick it up. But aside from those two, you don't have offensive players. And when offense is your biggest problem, he kind of has to be in the lineup. Right. Now, when Seth comes back, the story changes a little bit. But I just don't really see a time where Caleb is going to be benched for an extended period of time because he just brings an element that other guys don't have. And while he is imperfect, he makes $1 million. He's a bottom pair guy. Right. We should not be losing sleep about the bottom pair guy on a tanking team. I know everyone needs a scapegoat. Everyone needs someone to be mad at. You don't, though. Just don't do that. It's okay. It's okay to not scapegoat somebody because everything that's going wrong with this team is not Caleb Jones' fault.
Right.
He's had some bad games, but it's not only him. I promise you that.
Yep.
All right, let's do our want to do our 4 stars of the game here.
Sure.
Yeah, let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff. All right, the 3 stars of the game. Number 3 for the Penguins, Rickard Rackell. He had a game. He did some stuff.
He had an erotic journey.
As I switched between 3 stars and the box score. He had a goal. He had an assist, a shot attempt, a missed shot, and a hit. A lot of ones on his score sheet, but those 2 points and the +2, that's what matters most. Solid game for him. Evgeni Malkin playing his 1,000th game, scored a goal, 3 shots, and was credited with 3 block shots of his own. Solid game for him.
Good game.
And the number 1 star, ho-hum, another 4-point night for the legendary Sidney Crosby. 1 goal and 3 assists. He was tremendous, including the game-winning goal. The 5th goal, by the way, by the Penguins was an empty netter. So he gets the game-winning goal with just over 3 minutes left. He is your number 1 star. So my 4th star, because it's a night of milestones, I'm going to give it to Jujhar Khaira, who scored a goal in his 300th NHL game. He picked up his 69th point. He also had 5 shots on goal in this one and 2 hits. So a really solid game for number 16. He gets my 4th star of the night.
All right, for the second straight night, I'm going to go with Jason Dickinson. He actually had the real nice play that set up the Jujhar Khaira goal. Fought through a couple defenders behind the net, got the puck back, made a nice drop, but no look behind the back pass for Card's tapping goal. Jay and I were sitting at the beginning of the game, and we were looking at the lines, and I said, yeah, Richardson said he was going to shuffle up the bottom 6. And it was kind of like, well, all right, does it really change anything when you just take these 6 guys that kind of all do the same thing and move them? But that line with Khaira, Dickinson, and Blackwell was noticeable from their first shift and all night long, and they had a really nice game. They were effective. They did what they did. Hard on the forecheck. It seems that they had their best scoring chances when that line was on early in the game, and then Dickinson was rewarded with the primary assist. So I'm going to give it to number 17.
Yeah, he's moving a lot better after dropping a few pounds.
Yeah,
is Dickinson there?
Guts out a week ago.
They were the Hawks' best line tonight. 10 shot attempts for, 6 against when they're on the ice. That's a 62.5 Corsi. Really solid game. They were the best. They were by far the best line for the Hawks in this one. So that line played really well.
Yeah. Yep. And they produced the game's opening goal and helped out producing some incredible vibes in the arena tonight. And that is my 4th star of the night, were the vibes in the arena. Again, we talked about, Marián Hossa being honored and the Blackhawks doing it up. It was incredible to be in the atrium, just packed with people.
Yeah.
Having the Star alumni be there, also pseudo being celebrated, as well as Marián Hossa. The entire ceremony, the presentation, just the different moments that we were able to experience tonight were incredible. Packed building, probably the only time it's going to be packed this year. The anthem, I rarely ever record the anthem on my phone just to kind of get the atmosphere and everything. I rarely ever do that, and I did it tonight because I stood up and I was just like looking down at the arena. I was like, oh my god, like it is so noticeable between 21,000 and 15,000.
It's a different building.
Like it's, I know that's math, but also like just the atmosphere in the building is completely different. And standing up from where we were sitting for the anthem, I was just like, oh, this is gonna bring back some memories of, when it was consistently like that, consistently loud and amped up, and the Blackhawks gave up the first goal of the game again, 64 seconds into the game, so had to come back down. But that first goal from the Dickinson line with Khaira scoring, and then cutting it to a 3-2 game, eventually getting the tying goal, like it was, the UC was rocking tonight, and it was a throwback. And with Hossa in the building, all the former players, just the flood of memories of like, damn, this team used to be a lot of fucking fun, man. Like it was great to be in the arena tonight and to see all the old highlight packages and I could go on and on. It was great. The only thing that I think might have brought the vibes down a little bit is the reports of the 300 level running out of concessions before the game started.
Before the game started?
Ooh, yes, apparently, according to Twitter, that was an issue in the upper levels.
Well, when you have people in there 2 hours before puck drop, and you're used to sometimes not even having half of those concession stands even open. Yeah. Reminds me of a certain barbecue festival they had at the United Center.
Welcome to the Windy City Smokeout. We have no food.
We will not be smoking out anything.
We ordered one pig for 50,000 people. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to be in the building tonight.
All right, Greg, before I let you go, we're going to update the tank standings. You're here for it. We're doing it.
Thank it.
All right.
Only 2 games tonight.
This is the epitome, the epitome of a tank win, by the way. You play well, you're entertaining, and you lose, tank win.
Columbus won.
Columbus won. That is not a typo. The Blue Jackets actually won a game. So ahead of the tank standings, as always, the Mighty Ducks, literally not mighty anymore, of Anaheim, 18 games, 11 points. Ottawa bringing up right there, 13 points in 17 games. Arizona, 13 points in 16 games. Columbus moves up to 13 points in 17. Buffalo, 5th with 14 points in 18 games. And still currently 6th in the tank standings, the Blackhawks with 15 points in 17 games. They're now 6, 8, and 3. So
I believe they are 6, 9, and 3. ESPN was slow with their update.
Those bastards.
Yeah, I was gonna say Blackhawks.
Yeah,
6, 9, and 3.
Are 6, 9, and 3. Nice. They are tied with Vancouver, Columbus, and San Jose with 15 points. But as I'm looking here on the old NHL app, that 4-way tie is for 5th place in the tank standings.
All right. Hey, that's good.
So only ahead of the Blackhawks are Buffalo, Arizona, Ottawa, and Anaheim.
Yeah, Columbus now has 15 points. So yes,
Connor Bedard. We're getting close.
It's coming. And Arizona is getting Nick Schmaltz and Jacob Chikrin back.
Ew.
And they're going to have a ton of home games here soon after they complete the 14-game road trip. So, things may not be as bad on the take side that we thought, 10 days ago.
We're sellouts, and they will have the same amount of people in the building as the Blackhawks did tonight.
Hey, I'll take games like tonight every night. Competitive,
absolutely
fun, ultimately
bad,
a loss.
Fun bad.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
More
Greg.
Tonight, less of last night.
Much like Fun Dad.
That's right. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a good trip home. Look for Greg's 3 Hawks hits to publish here shortly on allchgo.com. And, of course, allchgo.com is where you can become a diehard and get your free shirt or hat every year. Save 20% on all merch at the CHGO locker, including our new Hossa design. All of our content is unlocked.
Our new legendary design.
Awesome. Yes, the legendary design is out. So go pick that up at the CHGO locker. And if you're a diehard, you save 20%. It pays for itself. So do that. Become a diehard. And we want to remind everybody that the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve save money and energy. ComEd offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, whether it's lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that they can start working on immediately. Don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips and to schedule your free facility assessment, go to comed.com/poweringbiz. That's comed.com/poweringbiz. Ready to sign up for a facility assessment? Call them at 855-433-2700 during normal business hours to speak with a ComEd Energy Efficiency Program representative. Email businessee@comed.com or request an assessment online on their website at comed.com/facility assessment.
Earlier I was talking about Shady Rays and how good you're going to look in those Shady Rays sunglasses. If you want to look even better, pair those Shady Rays sunglasses with some Pins and Aces golf apparel. It is not golf weather in Chicago unless you go to the heated Top Golf arenas.
Those
but
are fun.
if you like to take a trip out to Arizona or Florida, where you can golf year-round, you can bring those Shady Rays and Pins and Aces golf apparel with you, and you're going to be looking great on the course. Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of CHGO. They're also the presenting sponsor for the Big Drive Energy Golf Podcast on the All City Network, and they have some of the best golf apparel, polos, hats, bags, you name it. They have it at Pins and Aces, and what they have that most other, and I don't think any other golf apparel company has something like this. It is the beer sleeve, the innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers in your golf bag and keep them cold for the entire round. You love to see that. Pins and Aces brings that to the table, and you can get yourself some hats, polos, a golf bag, the beer sleeve, and much more. If you go to pinsandaces.com, check out their entire catalog, and when you do, use the promo code CHGO. You're going to get 15% off of your first order, and you're going to get free shipping. Again, that's pinsandaces.com using the promo code CHGO.
All right, and now it is time for our DraftKings King of the Game.
Oh, yes.
And you're never going to guess who we came up with for this one. You guessed it.
Yep.
It is
Look at
Marián
Look
Hossa.
at that smile.
525 goals, 609 assists.
This is a big game.
1,134 points, and 3 cups, all in this game. Congratulations to Marián Hossa, the king of the game,
Yep.
and one of my all-time favorite hockey players. I will stand by that forever. Absolutely love the guy.
King of Chicago.
And fantastic. And I know he felt the love this week as he absolutely deserves. And hockey fans, it is time to hit the ice again. And thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you're in for the season of a lifetime. New customers, you can bet $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets if they win. If that wasn't enough excitement for you, turn those small bets into bigger payouts with same game parlays. I love playing the same game parlays. They are so fun. You say, for instance, I think Sidney Crosby's going to score. The Penguins are going to win by 2. And I'm taking Jonathan Toews to score a point. Boom. You combine those together. Tonight you would have been a big winner on a small bet. That's how those same game parlays work. It's awesome. They're so much fun. That's what I love to do. Bet $1, bet $2, and if those hit, you're feeling great. And if they don't, no big deal. It's $1 or $2. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $200 back in free bets if they do. That's code CHGO at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Good pointing job. I can never properly... I just can't do it. I don't understand how the pointing works. Because I'm not looking. I can see myself on the screen, but it's not like a mirror, so I'm always backwards on the pointing. Mario is a pointing expert.
Where'd my hand go?
Oh, wow. Jesus, scared me.
We are running out of ideas.
Wow, that was scary. I thought for real your hand went away for a second. No roids, just rage. says Hawks need to start weaponizing their cap space for a lot of picks. Start the fire sale before other teams start selling off early. I would caution that. First of all, there's not a lot of teams looking to buy right now. If they're going to take on Kane, Taves, whoever, the later the season goes, the easier it is to absorb those contracts.
Yeah.
So that matters. They become less expensive as the season goes on. So that is something that's going to be considered. Also, the Hawks are wise to hold on and make teams panic and drive up the price. Sure, if you want to take on a contract, if somebody's got a veteran player they don't want anymore and they need cap space, sure, we'll take on Milan Lucic in a first-round pick. Sure, go nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to start selling off Domi and Athanasiou and Kane and Taves and whoever else right now, it's way too early. Teams don't really even establish themselves as buyers, sellers, contenders, pretenders. Thanksgiving is usually the marking spot for that, like for those first conversations to begin.
Yeah.
So nothing's happening around the league transaction-wise. There's no reason to rush. And again, from what Kyle Davidson said, if we're talking about Taves and Kane, he's waiting for them to come to him before he goes to them. So it could be up to the deadline. It may never happen.
Right. Yeah, I think we're still going to see some time pass and some of the standings and contenders and pretenders start to truly emerge before anything like that starts to happen, where they're taking on bad contracts or anything of that nature. And yeah, I think with their two biggest potential trade pieces, it's best to wait, because you may have a team that loses a key player, key contributor, and get desperate in late January, February, leading up to the trade deadline, and they may look at the Blackhawks and Taves and Kane could be potentially available, whatever it is, but there could be a big injury that a team says like, hey, like we need to make a deal, we need one of these two guys at the biggest offer we can give them. That's going to play in the Blackhawks' favor much better than if they try and do something even before Christmas. Like, you're not going to get, you're probably not going to get as much.
Yeah, not a lot of blockbuster deals happen before Christmas.
Yeah,
that's very rare. Noroids also says, I heard there's been a lot of Boston Bruins scouts at Hawks games. Have you guys noticed any? Yes, I've also noticed scouts from Detroit, scouts from the Sharks. Who else have we seen up there?
Nashville keeps a scout here pretty much every game.
Yeah,
yes. What I've been seeing.
I've seen a Vegas scout there before. I saw Kirk Maltby.
Yeah,
he got in my way and apologized, man. I said, "That's right, Kirk Maltby. I'll push you down these stairs."
He got a shout out in Hossa's.
Yes, he did.
Hossa's speech tonight.
That's why Hossa couldn't wear 18 in Detroit.
Also, I loved the Detroit sucks chant during Hossa's speech. I think
Hossa liked it too.
He did too. Yeah, it was a good moment, a fun moment.
So speaking of that, this has been bugging me all year.
Oh,
"Let's go Blackhawks" is not the chant. It has happened at every game this season. Let's go Blackhawks. That's not the chant.
No, it's not.
It is "Let's go Hawks," because it very much contradicts when the Red Wings fans come to town. They say, "Let's go Red Wings." You're supposed to say "Let's go Hawks," but they always say "Detroit sucks." It's the 3-syllable chant, not the 4-syllable chant. So if you're at a Hawks game, it's not "Let's go Blackhawks." It's "Let's go Hawks." All right, there. I've said my piece.
And John Hansen will make sure that it's "Let's go Hawks."
Indeed, he will. Loudly.
He does a good job of doing that.
Yes, he does. Okay, we're almost done. Couple things. Tuesday, Bernie Nichols joining us at 2 o'clock. So you old head OG Hawks fans have a legend. I'm going to be really psyched about talking to Bernie Nichols. He's got a book out too. That's Tuesday. I'm getting ahead of myself. Tomorrow, we're remote, but we're here. 2:30, mailbag show. So if you've got some questions, hit us up on Twitter at @CHGO_Blackhawks. If you're a CHGO diehard, you've got access to our Discord channel. Hit us up there. That's a great way to get in touch with us as well. Or if you're old school, you can email Blackhawks at allchgo.com. I don't think anyone has done that yet.
No?
And don't, because then I got to check it and remember the password. So just tweet at us, hit us up in a Discord. We're very easy to find.
Yes.
So just do it that way, and make sure you're following us on social media.
Yeah.
At CHGO _Blackhawks. He's at Mario _Tirabassi. I'm at Jay Zawoski, and Greg is at Greg Boyson. And we want to give you one final reminder before we wrap up. That legendary 81 design dropped today at 4 p.m. This is a limited run.
Yeah.
So if you want one of these, jump on it. I know people say, like, tickets are going fast, and they've sold like 3 in an effort to sell more tickets. That is not the case here.
Yeah.
This is a limited run. There is only so many available, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So jump on this design, chgolocker.com. If you're a diehard, you save 20%. If you want to become a diehard, this would be your first shirt. It would be free, and you'll get a new one every year upon renewal. So go to allchgo.com to become a diehard. Go to chgolocker.com to check out the 81 legendary design. It is absolutely sweet. I ordered mine. Yep. Mario ordered his. Greg ordered his, because we're not missing out on these because they are awesome. And truth be told, we've been wanting a new design for y'all for a long time, and we got one. So make sure you show the company, hey, Hawks fans are here too, and we want the shirts. So buy the shirts.
Yeah, definitely. Jump on this because, like Jay said, it is a limited release. I saw a few people on Twitter today saying, like, "Oh, I'll wait till my subscription renews, my diehard subscription renews, and I'll get it for free." No, you need to jump on it now because it may not be there when you're waiting on that new free shirt. You got to jump on it now. And look, this is one of the best players that has ever played for the Chicago Blackhawks. One of 7 numbers to be retired by this organization in nearly 100 years.
Yep.
It means something. So, show off your support for the legend that was honored tonight. Show off your support for CHGO, and you're going to look good doing it.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful design. Shout out to
Yeah.
Eric for the design.
Yeah,
Sure.
great design. We love it. We love it. All right, we're back with you tomorrow at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Thanks to Joey for running the show. We greatly appreciate it. Remember,
Apologies for the tank standings. It's my first time here in a while.
Hey,
First time here in a while.
It's a tank win for you too. You got it right eventually.
Good
Tank
spin
win.
on that one. Good spin.
Tank win. Remember, Mailbag Monday tomorrow, and Bernie Nichols Tuesday at 2 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.